All right, so let me introduce Lydia Pintscher from German Wikimedia to talk about structured data and Wikidata. Over to you. Welcome.
Thank you. Right, so my topic is Wikidata, the next big thing for Wikipedia. Oh. Hello? Why is it? Okay. So let's start with a question. How many of you have actually edited Wikipedia so far? Awesome, that's way more than I usually get. That's impressive. Okay. So then you might know that this is the vision the Wikimedia movement aspires to. Imagine a world in which every single human being can share in the sum of all knowledge. And we are trying to achieve this, for example, through these projects. You might know some of them, like MediaWiki or, well, Wikipedia, Wikiversity, Wikiquote, and so on. The most well-known one, Wikipedia, has over 23 million articles by now, created through over 1.4 billion edits, and there's Wikipedia is in 285 languages by now. That's quite huge, and every time I see these numbers, it's quite impressive for me. But of course, not everything is great and rosy in Wikimedia land. Starting with the fact that the software Wikipedia is running on and its sister projects, MediaWiki, is actually, if you look at it, pretty low tech. It's powerful, but pretty low tech. So, for example, if you take this question, which drugs are on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicine and approved for use during pregnancy in the US? Wikipedia has all the data. For example, the list of essential medicines according to the World Health Organizations, and it has pages on, and it has data about is this approved for use during pregnancy or not. Oh, and we also have stuff like the list of animals with a fraudulent diploma, or the list of inventors that were killed by their own invention. But in the end, this question is really hard to answer because you have to go through all of them and check, is this on the list or is it not on the list? That's time consuming. The second thing is right now editor retention and recruiting. So if you look at this picture, it's a screenshot of editing the English language Wikipedia article on Berlin. It's not really in writing, so if I have to go on the street and put a random person in front of this, they would probably not be able to make any useful edit article. The other thing is, this is a small language Wikipedia. Does anyone recognize the language? No? It's Hausa, language in Africa. And the 4 days before I took the screenshot, each edit on this Wikipedia was done by a bot. So it was basically just bots coming from the larger Wikipedias to this Wikipedia and setting, for example, links between language versions. That's really, if you're someone who speaks Hausa and looks at recent changes on this Wikipedia. The third thing is coverage and reach. If you look at this, it's articles that are geotagged on the English language Wikipedia. So if there's, for example, an article on Paris, there's a little dot on this picture. And as you can see, English language Wikipedia covers the world pretty well. Could be better, but you can pretty much see a map. If you look at French now, there's already less. You can't really see the whole world lined out anymore. If you look at Italian, not really a lot outside of Italy, right? If you look at Greek and Turkish, well, if you look at these numbers, yes, that have over 1 million articles. 40 Wikipedias have over 100,000 articles, and we have a total of 285. So there's a huge gap of Wikipedias that exist and have a article base, but that are only marginally useful to people who only speak that language. So we're actually not there yet. We don't reach everyone with the sum of all knowledge. This is where Wikidata, the project I'm working on, comes in to help. It will not fix all of the problems that I mentioned, but it will help with some of them. So what is Wikidata? It's a repository for structured data, a repository for the world's knowledge. So you have to kind of imagine it like a Rolodex maybe, where you have cards about specific things, and then you have data like telephone number and whatever on it. It's a database that anyone can read and edit. It will be multilingual because, yeah, we have 285 languages and we have to serve all of them. And it's designed to deal with the reality Wikipedia has to deal with. What I mean with that, I will come to later. And of course, the whole thing is free software, because if you run a free and open project like Wikipedia, you better run it on free and open software. So this is an early mock-up about how one page in Wikidata could look like, about Wikidata in this case. There's, for example, the organization that's doing it, Wikimedia Deutschland. There's the IRC channel, and it says that this particular one is on Freenode. Oh, and by the way, there's 5 sources saying that it's an open project. The project is being done in 3 phases. The first one is actually only really interesting for people inside Wikipedia, but it's basically about linking languages, or yeah, if you have an article in the German language Wikipedia, for example, right now, at the end of the article you will have in the wiki text something saying, oh, and in the French language Wikipedia this is this article, in the English language Wikipedia it's this article, oh, and in Spanish, by the way, it's this one. And you have this in each language, in each article. There's a lot of duplication. What we are doing in this first phase is basically just providing the means to put this in one central place instead of having it duplicated in each article. The second phase is about info boxes. So if you go to an article in basically any Wikipedia, you're very likely to find a little box with the most important in it about the subject you're interested in. And basically what we want to do is to provide the data in these info boxes in one central repository, so each language can have access to this data, because right now this sharing doesn't happen. So if, for example, the United States votes a new president soon, someone will have to go and update the article about the President of the United States in each language that has such an article. What we want to do is to provide the means to just do this once in one place. And the third phase is about lists. So there's a lot of articles on Wikipedia that are like lists of United States presidents. after the election, someone will have to amend the list by hand right now to actually reflect the fact, oh, there's a new president. What we want to do is to allow these lists to be created automatically and no longer by hand, and updated, of course. Oh, and we're here right now. So in the second phase. But how will Wikidata actually help with the problems I mentioned before? The first one is that it will allow a lot of new micro contributions. So people will not have to write a finished article and get that onto Wikipedia, but instead, in this case, they can provide one data and edit this particular data point instead of having to write a whole article, and can make a useful contribution this way already. And of course, the data has to move from each language version of Wikipedia to the central place, so there's a lot that people can do. Then we will support smaller languages because they don't have the manpower to do a lot of the research that is needed to keep up with a huge article base. So they will be able to rely on the work being done in in larger Wikipedias. The third thing we help with is that people will not, for this, have to put up with cryptic wiki text, but instead will be able to use a form-based editor where they can just enter their stuff in a nice form that will guide them. And of course, once you have this structured data, it is possible to automate a lot of stuff that is currently done by hand, like amending list articles after an election. So this is all nice, right? But why is this actually special? As I said, it will have to handle a lot of languages. Usually systems like that don't. The next thing is that it can handle qualifiers and sources. What do I mean by that? If you look at Berlin here, it says that it has 8,000 inhabitants. Of course, it doesn't have them right now, but instead this was in the 15th century. So you can qualify your data to make it more specific, let's say like that. Or for example here, Angela Merkel is the Chancellor of Germany, and she's the Chancellor of Germany since 2005. And of course, verifiability is very important for Wikipedia, so you can enter sources saying, oh, I have this data from this place. There are some people laughing in the audience. They know the picture. Okay. This, to explain laughter, is the Donauturm. And there was a long discussion about whether this is a... I thought it stopped, but okay. Okay, this discussion is about whether this is a viewpoint or a TV tower. Yes, exactly. So Wikidata will have to deal with things like that. What does this mean for the world outside Wikimedia? First of all, we will provide a large multilingual base of data that is under an open license that people can use for free also outside Wikimedia. There will be an API that people can access and have access to a large knowledge base that it's edited by a large editor base and kept great, hopefully. And of course, it's free software, so you can also run your own instance if you feel like it, and do other awesome stuff with it. For example, people are already talking about doing some of this with Wikidata. For example, a water sports wiki, so a wiki about places that are great for diving or canoeing and so on. Then someone talked to me about using it to track patterns and how they influence each other. Or government institutions who want to publish their data but don't really know how and in which format, and who hope that this can be one place that different institutions can actually different institutions can actually agree on, so they have a common format and all of that. And there's a project who's interested in using it to track ordnance data, so data about mines and weapons, and to use this for disarmament, basically. The question now, what you are all going to do with it, I hope a lot, and I hope you're going to help us make this vision reality. Thank you very much. Yes, questions?
I just want to know what's the difference between what you're doing in, say, Semantic Media Wiki or IkiWiki or Kiwi Wiki.
The first one was Semantic Media Wiki, you said?
Semantic Media Wiki. You also using RDF store, I suppose?
So Semantic Media Wiki started out in 2005. Was started by Danny van der Gic and Markus Krotsch. Danny is currently actually very much involved as well, so there are ties. Semantic Media Wiki, for those who don't know it, started out as a project to bring, or with the goal to bring semantics to Wikipedia, which for various reasons in the end did not work out, but Semantic Media Wiki is used in a lot of other places and quite successfully. The relation is that, people, for example, next week there's SM, which is the conference of the Semantic Media Wiki guys, which we will attend. And in the end, what we are doing here is storing data in one central place, whereas Semantic Media Wiki did it inside the articles. That's one difference. The other difference is that Semantic Media Wiki is not from start laid out to deal with a lot of languages, and it's not laid out from the start to deal with different data for the same thing. So, for example, the example with the Donauturm, it's not laid out to handle things like, oh, there's disagreement about what this actually is. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Good. More questions? Yeah.
I remember seeing a open data collecting site some years ago, and I think it even had the possibility to have different views on one thing. Like it is a TV tower, so it has this radio stations, and it is a viewpoint, so it has this properties, and it could have both at the same time.
Okay.
I just forgot the name.
Okay.
Sorry.
More questions? No. Well, then thank you very much. I will be around if you have questions, and I have stickers.